Tell me what you think is the difference. Tell me what you think is the difference. I want you to study this and tell me what you think is the difference. Okay, let me just show you. You see, from here, we're having now we're having lower high, all right, coming down, lower high. But you see, we begin to see higher lows. Look at here, all right, higher low. This is telling you that it's going up. After that play, what do you begin to see? Consistent lower high. Did you see that? That is when you see this place doing a lower high than the place where we are seeing the test of this thing then now after doing a higher low and a change of structure. You understand? Did you see that? That's what begin to happen. So when you study here and then this came and did this, look at how close they are. They are forming another proper trend line here. Guys, it is about studying and paying attention to details. You will know the difference. It will be confused if you do not. Please, do you understand? All right, so you see the change of structure. All right, this structure is telling us a situation where something is still like trying to keep going up. Then this structure here begin to tell us a situation where something is, after retesting different trend line, they are coming back with a lower high. All right, so if this one did this and this did it, it came to this place and this did it with this lower high, retesting here, almost hitting here. This one retested again with a lower high than this. You should know that the market is trying to keep going down. All right, you see, after this retest, there is a higher, all right, around this area. All right, so guys, let's go and study, man. So let me quickly, this video will be too long. I think I'm going to share them into parts. So let's see something else. All right, let's take here, we're taking this point at this point. What I mean, see how we are taking, you can experiment with taking different points. The only point that correspond, that does well, because not every point you mark must work fine. Okay, it's not compulsory that every time you mark. That's why you are during training now, you should do it over and over, so that if you want to always recognize the point that can work, so that you just pick it alone, so that you don't draw many drawings filling your this thing, filling your chart. Fine. But if not, you need to pass through this process, get your chart dirty. So this is the 2 points I want to look at now. All right, so let me mark them as area of support. Let's produce it and let's see what happens. All right, I take one. So I try to place it on the sum out of. Remember, you can even use one. For instance, you draw your trend line. Okay, you can see it just function as support to all this area. But let's see if it did anything significant that will help us to take a trade. This is downtrend, and it's showing you, see, your knowledge of trend. All right, you could see, remember here is still doing lower high. We are not seeing higher low or any other thing. So when this happens, you see, if you have taken this trade after this dark cloud candlestick pattern, you would what? You begin to fly down. Did you see it? Market keep going down. All right. So this is the thing. You see here itself, we are still having portion as support and eventually breakout. Also watch a situation when we have so many moves before a breakout, compared to the one breakout, breaking, breakout, break, go again, go ahead. Those ones they are very confusing. It's only things like confluences that will help you to catch those kind of trades. But like this one now, After a breakout upward, there were a whole lot of move. Even here, came and went again. Eventually, when he tests like 1, 2 again, even make third attempt, which is within the same zone, before eventually came back and break, and then retested. So that's a whole lot of he suffered before breaking out downward, and that's why when he retested it, there was nothing stopping it. It has to, after forming the candlestick pattern, you had to begin to fly down, 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 like that. All right. So let's do. We take one. Okay, not one more last. Let's consider these two zones. Look at this point and this point. Remember, we want to consider those points. Let me mark it out again. We want to consider this point and this point. That's the points we want to consider. Remember, we take it from the lowest one. All right. So let's do that, guys. Don't watch this video and study at the end. You want to get exactly something like this. It's by you experimenting, because I'm teaching you. Remember the one I showed you in the video before we started this thing, before we came back to start doing it. You didn't see these plenty lines there. Talking to my mind to teach you the process we follow. So it's almost like fishing. You don't know, you put in your net, you don't know the one you will catch, but you know what will happen. You know that your net has caught. I mean, which of the net that have actually caught. This is what this is. All right. So you can see already seeing something. You see after here now, did you pay attention to this point now? Look at, there was a breakout and retest again here. Remember, what are we looking at? Downtrend. That's why we did about trend, type of trend and market faces. You guys are not bringing that into bear, because as we study it, you guys are still confused. But I know from now, you guys will now start going back to go and cement all those lessons together, because they all count. Okay, they all count. So let's go and let's remove this. All right, you see, there's a touch here. There is a touch here, or almost a touch there. But with this can shooting star, you know it's time to take the trade. In fact, in lower time frame, you'll be able to catch something better. All right. Let me go check something. All right. I want to check something. Of course, we are good. Now, so what you need to also pay attention is the fact that this one did not exactly touch. But remember, if you mark it in terms of zone, you discover that it touched. For instance, now, this is the point where you bring in the lesson, some of the lesson you have learned. All right. This is the point. Look at, we take it from this point. All right. So let me remind you guys again, talking about zone. We took it from this point so that you now have to hit here. After hitting here, it goes ahead to create others in the front. So, but if we want to mark remember our zone, what are we supposed to do? Let's pick our tool for marking zone. All right, let's revisit that again. Let's take our rectangular tool, or rectangle, and when we want to mark a zone, we mark it from here, from the beginning of the one that stretch out, and mark it, the one we start with it until it touch the body. I mean, this point now, we mark it until it touches the what? The body. That is the zone. So let's now go to that point. For me, I have it in my eyes. I don't normally represent a lot of feet every time, but I know where the zone is with my eyes. All right. So you can learn to do that as well. So let's go and find out whether don't delete now. The line where we put the thing don't disappear. That's what I'm trying to find. It has actually disappeared. How did it disappear? Disappear. So let's just bring the support and resistance again. I mean the resistance zone again. I deleted it. I didn't know. I didn't know if I delete when I deleted it too. Okay. Let's do it again. Let's bring it, and we are putting it. Oh, I remember when it did. I wanted to delete this thing. I wanted to delete this something else, and I deleted the line. I did not pay attention to it. So this is it, and this is our zone. Right, so let's go back in. You see the point is within the zone, meaning that it hit the zone that we're looking at. All right, the zone we're looking at. All right. Sorry, guys. So it hit the zone. Is well within the what? Within the zone. Within the zone. Did you see? Did you see the point? Uh-huh. So anyway, let's just finish up by looking at this is hanging. I don't know why. I hope hanging. Seriously hanging. I'm doing my best to remedy the situation. Just all right. So the point, look at this point where there is a jump, I normally take it as a zone, normal. Of course, I did not consider it before, but I just want to tell you guys, I might take it as a zone. Look at this jump. I will pick that point, all right, as a point. But additional points area will be here, right? And let me say here would have been a support. Okay, we're looking at the support, even as a support, the point after the jump. All right. Any of these three places can be my final TP. Any of these three places can be what? My final TP. All right. This last one is still support and resistance. All right. Because this support, this is previous resistance, turn support here. So any of these three places, but this is, if you are greedy, before you begin to wait for it, let's see how far the market actually went. If you are too greedy, you begin to wait for, oh, you see what happened is that very point, the first point of any of those three places could have been my TP. All right, and as it is, one of the places already hit TP. That's my final TP. Could that be? If you are more greedy, you wait for the second place as well as the third place. Guys, this is the mindset. This is the thought process you need to follow. This is how you should go about it when you are trying to do this. So you can examine this, you watch the work you did, and then you look at what I recommended after you did your work, and then you look at this to study this in-depthly. This is individual study, not group or Zoom study. After you have done this, then you can come back to Zoom and look at them together so that you can correct yourself together and things like that. And another assignment is coming on something like this as well.